Marhaba and Ahlan wa Sahlan in our new video. If this is your first time watching us, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell button so you can get notified with every new video uploaded. If you do that, the chocolate hummus will definitely haunt you. If you like what you see, click like, share the video, and let us know in the comment section what would you like to see next or in our future videos. Today we'll be talking about something that is really delicious but consumes lots of time. And there are lots of families that actually enjoy eating it but not making it. It's mahshi. Mahshi is basically stuffed vegetables. We stuff lots of vegetables in Palestine and Syria and Egypt. Vine leaves, cabbage leaves, zucchini, eggplant, carrots, cucumber, and there are lots of other vegetables. Wherever we can stuff, we stuff it. The seasoning and the mix differs between one country and the other, but all versions, they're really good. Mahshi is originally a Turkish dish that used to be called dolma, and the Arab countries were introduced to that during the Ottoman occupation or ruling of the area, and then it moved to Egypt and the Sham countries and Iraq and the other countries. As I said, the seasoning and the filling differs, but the basic item or ingredient in the filling is rice, and then you can add ground beef, ground lamb, vegetables, olive oil, ghee, seasoning, herbs. It depends and differs from one country to the other. Today we're making one type of mahshi, which is cabbage leaf or malfoof. We're gonna do it the Palestinian way. It's very delicious, but also it's very different from the Egyptian style. So if you like to see mahshi in the Egyptian way, please let us know in the comment section. So to prepare the stuffed cabbage or malfoof, we're gonna start with the cabbage itself. So what we need to do is to separate the leaves and then boil them for like a couple of minutes so they get soft, so you can be able to roll them, and then they are ready to be filled and rolled and cooked. In the Middle East or the Arab countries, the type of cabbage that we find there is big, and the leaves are a little bit loose, so it's much easier for you to separate them before they are boiled or soft. But here in the Middle East and maybe in Europe, here in the US, the type of the cabbage that we find here is the leaves are really like sticking to each other, and it's really hard to separate the leaves before the cabbage is cooked, or you're gonna jeopardize basically breaking those leaves or tearing them off. So there is a couple of ways that you can deal with the cabbage that we find here in the US. The first way that you can do is basically take the cabbage head, and then with the knife you cut around the core here and try to remove the core out, and then in a big pot, you put a big pot on the stove, you boil the water, and when it's boiled, you immerse the whole cabbage head in the hot water, and then leave it for a few minutes, and you'll notice that the leaves gonna start separating, and then you can actually remove the separated leaves from the water, put them aside, and continue until the whole cabbage head is boiled and ready. The easier way, which I do and what resulted in this, is basically I put the cabbage head in a plastic bag and then throw it in the freezer the minute I buy it, and keep it in the freezer until the night before I plan to cook it. I remove it from the freezer and I put it in the fridge to defrost, and next day in the morning I remove the cabbage head from the fridge and put it in the counter, or I just get a big pot, fill it with hot water from the faucet. I don't boil it or whatever, and just immerse the head in there and leave it. And I go back to my chores or whatever I'm doing, go back and I see you can find all the leaves are easily separated, soft, clean, and ready to be cut and rolled. So here I show you how you can prepare the leaves. So you cut the first one. See how soft it is? And then fold it in half. You need to remove this part, the thick part, because it will not cook properly. It will be chewy and will not cook properly. So you remove this part. Keep it aside, don't throw it. We're gonna need it in a few minutes. And then you cut this in half. And you here, you put these two sides on top of each other, cut again, and now you have 4 sides that are ready to be used. We'll do that one more time. Cut this from here. Fold it on the side. Get this thick part out. See? Put it aside. Cut in half. Put them on top of each other and cut in half again. And then you have your leaves ready to be rolled and filled. I'm gonna continue with the rest of the cabbage head. So as you can see here, I'm done with cutting and preparing the leaves, the malfoof or the cabbage leaves. So it depends on the size of the original leaf. I managed to get like 4 to 6 pieces. So for bigger leaves I have like 6 pieces, and you can see they're like nice and soft and ready to be rolled. So we're done with the leaves, and as I told you, we're keeping that thick part to be used in our next step. We're not gonna use all of it, some of it, but so just keep it on the side. And now we're gonna prepare the filling. So here I have medium grain rice, or like Egyptian rice. Egyptian rice is basically the best rice you can use for stuffing vegetables. And here I have 3 cups washed and soaked for at least 30 minutes in hot water. I'm gonna add around 350 grams of ground beef. You can also use lamb if you want, but here I'm using beef. And also you can control the quantity of the meat, or the ratio, the rice meat ratio. If you want to have more rice or more meat, it's up to you, but this is my preference basically. So for this I'm gonna add the spices. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt, and then I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of cardamom, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon or 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of allspice. And then this is the crucial, or like the main spice in the malfoof, which is the cumin. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is very important. It gives a delicious taste and flavor to the malfoof or the cabbage. And because the cabbage is like the same family as the cauliflower, it upsets the stomach and basically can reduce lots of gases. So adding cumin can actually provide a big relief of that. Also, I'm gonna be adding 1/4 cup of oil. You can use canola oil, vegetable oil, or even ghee, not butter, but oil or ghee. And then I'm gonna mix all of this. So now we're gonna prepare the pot that we're gonna cook the malfoof in. So here I put 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm gonna turn on the heat. And now we're gonna use the pieces that we kept aside when we were cutting the leaves. Remember those? We're gonna use them now. I'm gonna put them at the bottom. These will protect the stuffed grape leaves from burning if you keep the pot for a longer time on the stove. And also they will give a good flavor. Some people actually, like my husband, they like to eat these. So I'm gonna put these down. Put garlic and the grape leaf, the cabbage leaves. When they cook them, they put them raw and they put them like between the layers. I actually like to put them below and saute them a little bit. That will infuse the flavor. It will give a great flavor to the cabbage leaves without that overwhelming garlicky taste. And again, you know, when you saute things, they actually taste much better. So I'm gonna add around 10 cloves, so 10 garlic cloves, and then I'm gonna spray some salt and cumin, just like half a teaspoon of cumin. That will also infuse the flavor. And you know, with all that cabbage, you need cumin for your tummy's sake. Then you mix a little bit. Gonna leave them for a couple of minutes until the garlic gets that beautiful golden color, and then I'm gonna turn the heat off. Now, as you can see, everything is ready now. I have my filling or my stuffing ready. I have the leaves ready, and as you can see, I have my pot ready, and you see how those garlic pieces look golden and delicious. So now we're ready to stuff and roll the cabbage leaves. Okay, so stuffing and rolling the cabbage leaves are actually much easier than the grape leaves, because it's just straightforward. You put the filling here and then you just roll. You don't need to close this the sides like you do in the grape leaves. So this actually, you can finish this much faster than if you're doing grape leaves. So you can see, just put the filling and you roll. That's all that you need to do. Don't put much filling. You don't want the filling to get out of the sides. And then you put it in the pot close to each other. Let's see if I can see right here. As you can see, then we can fill more. Put some stuffing and then roll. And there is anything extra, just make sure that you remove it. Here you go. So now I'm done with rolling all the cabbage leaves and put them in a pot. And I added a little bit of salt, and then I had leftover broth, chicken broth, and I put it in the top just enough to cover the surface of the cabbage leaves, not more. And if you don't have broth, you can use water. You can add water with 1 cube of stock. It's up to you. But since I had broth, I don't, I want to make use of it, so I use the chicken broth here for also added flavor. And I'm gonna move this to the stove right now. I'm gonna put it on high until it boils. Leave it to boil for 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna turn the heat to the lowest setting and leave it for around an hour to an hour 20 minutes until it's all done. The rice is cooked and the leaves are cooked and tender and tasty. During cooking, just you need to keep checking on it. Just make sure that the taste is good, the salt is good, and there is still broth because you don't want it to burn. So your cabbage leaf, if they're not ready yet, they may need more liquid, so you add more liquid. Always use hot, don't put cold. Always use hot water or hot broth. And then we'll see you after this is cooked. So while the cabbage leaves are cooking, I'm gonna prepare a nice dressing that you can put on the side or serve on the side for people who like to add a little bit of more garlic and sour taste or flavor to the cabbage leaf. So here I put half a cup of lemon juice, 3 garlic cloves, a pinch of salt, and few fresh mint leaves. And then I'm gonna process those together.